Breaking news, everyone. It's Kyle Henderson of BamaInsider.com along with Andrew Bone of BamaInsider.com. Our recruiting analyst, Ishmael Sopsher, has made his decision. He is coming to Tuscaloosa, came down to Alabama and LSU in the end. Here with Andrew Bone to break it down. How big of a get is this for Alabama, landing 6'4", 305-pound Ishmael Sopsher?
Big get for Alabama. Another big win in the state of Louisiana. A win over Ed Orgeron. Who really kind of made Ishmael Sopsher the Tigers pretty much their number one target in this class on the defensive line. They were really pressing hard to get him on board. All the way until the end. And Nick Saban and the coaching staff. Pete Golding did a tremendous job from day one recruiting Ishmael Sopsher. So you have to give a lot of credit to Pete Golding there, but Nick Saban and that staff did a tremendous job recruiting Ishmael Sopsher all the way until the end, because it certainly has been a kind of a seesaw battle between the two programs for the last really for the last month. I mean, you could say for the last couple of years, but really in the last month it has just been back and forth between the two schools, and we weren't really sure what Ishmael Sopsher was going to do heading into this week. He had just come off that official visit to LSU. We knew LSU was going to do everything they possibly could to get him to stay home and represent the home state and sell all that to him, but in the end he decided to go to Alabama.
A player like Sopsher, 6'4", 305 pounds, how important is it to get a defensive tackle in this day and age? We've talked about this before. It's not like you can just go every single year and build up the depth chart at the defensive tackle position. You have to find specific players that can fill that void. How important is it for Alabama to land a critical defensive tackle now working with new coach Brian Baker?
Well, I think with Alabama, just being able to hold, get some really good defensive linemen in this class was, certainly a critical position of need, because they've struggled the last couple of years recruiting defensive linemen. In terms of overall depth, now they've gotten some really good defensive linemen, but in terms of overall depth, they've kind of struggled. They missed on some guys over the last couple of years, and this year, I would say, probably the best defensive line class in the country. I don't think there's any doubt about that. Getting Ishmael Sopsher on board, he's going to be coached by Brian Baker. I think that's going to be, huge for him. He's got everything that you look for in a defensive lineman. He's big. He's 6'4", 305 pounds. He could probably, he still needs to develop his body a little bit, and I think that he's got a chance to really be an impact player at the next level. Now, we saw his stock drop just a little bit because he was a 5-star. He was one of the top. Early on, he was one of the top 10 overall players in the country, and now, he's still in the top 100, but just dropped out of the 5-star range. 4-star player, but just struggled a little bit down at the Under Armour All-America game. I think it was more due to some injuries that he had. So once he gets healthy, once he gets into that college strength and conditioning program with Scott Cochran, he's going to be just fine.
Picking up a prospect like Ishmael Sopsher right out of the home state of Louisiana. Talk about the recruiting wars between Alabama and LSU and how big of a pickup this is, landing a prospect right in the backyard of Ed Orgeron.
Yeah, I mean, Alabama's done such a tremendous job recruiting, the state of Louisiana since Nick Saban's been there. I mean, so many just big name prospects that have signed with Alabama from Louisiana, and a lot of these guys who've had just a tremendous amount of success from Louisiana. From Landon Collins to Cam Robinson, Dylan Moses now, just Eddie Lacy. I mean, the list kind of goes on in terms of just elite players who've come from that state who come to Alabama and have had a tremendous amount of success. And I think a lot of these Louisiana kids see that. They see the success that Alabama has with developing kids from Louisiana, but they also see Alabama dominating LSU on the football field. I mean, it's Alabama hasn't lost to LSU since that game in 2012 in Tuscaloosa, and it's just been it's kind of been just a dominant performance by Alabama year in and year out. So, this is obviously a big win for Alabama in the state of Louisiana. Getting Ishmael Sopsher on board, and just kind of sends another big statement that Nick Saban and Alabama can go into Louisiana and land the elite recruits.
For more National Signing Day coverage, head on over to BamaInsider.com. Look for the free 30-day trial at the top of the screen. For Andrew Bone and Kyle Henderson, we'll catch you soon at BamaInsider.com.